All right. So I hope that's not confusing you. If you want, I think it's going to go on a screensaver anyways, so it won't be in your face. Okay, so you were telling me about your friend Salim in high school. He brought the concept of God to you, right? Yeah. And before that, you having seen miracles in the church, which you did not believe in, the healing, the miracle. You thought people are faking it. You thought every religion is a fake, right?
That's what I thought.
Okay. So Salim, what was different about what Salim presented to you?
When Salim came, and I thought he was gonna be like those type of people as well.
Right.
Like he'll be like, "Oh, just believe" or something like that, have faith, right? And then, but like, what shocked me was when he was speaking to me and answering my question, it all seemed like logical.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just believing it, right?
Okay.
So yeah, from that point on, I was like hooked. Like I wanted to know more, so I did research myself, and when I had questions, I would ask him, and he would tell me, and it would always be so like logical. The answers, right? It wasn't just like made up or anything. And like over time, like I slowly started to learn and learn and learn, and like I became convinced of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's basically it. Like
okay, great. So now you've realized that there's one God, right, who is totally separate from the creation, right? He doesn't have a son or a daughter, right? And is totally in charge and in control of the creation, correct? And he sees everything, he hears everything, he sees and he knows everything, right? And he's able to do everything, right? Okay, and then why do we exist here? Like, where are we heading to? Or
so from the Quran, that's what I know. Like we were created to worship Him. That's our purpose in life.
okay,
Yeah. So
and
we're going to, like, once we die, we go to heaven or hell.
Okay, great. Yeah. So basically, there are free will and there are choices, right? And those choices have consequences, right? So when you say worship, which means, what does worship means to you?
Yeah. So before worship, like I thought it was like when you in the church they would sing and like this and that, right? Like dance and stuff like that. But like worship, what I came to find out was like it's basically following what God wants us to do.
Great.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. So basically, using our free will to direct it in ways that are pleasing to God, right? That are advised by God or commanded by God. Yeah. Perfect. That's a very good understanding, man. I mean, so usually I ask this question after Shahadah, like, so people who come to Islam from their friends or other people that I haven't met, that's why I ask the question to understand, where you stand, right? What's your understanding? And to be honest, like, this is much better than what I see with many people. So your friend Salim, I think he took that time to let you understand things and did not rush things through, so that you have a much better understanding than most people, man. So that's amazing. Great. May Allah bless you and keep you steadfast. Okay, great. So basically, now that thing is there, now that awareness is there, right? So the first thing that I advise people is that to be obviously thankful for that gift, right? Because out of the millions and billions of people, right? Yeah. Many people are still, living the life that you were living a month or two ago, right? Yeah. Which is unaware. This is what it is. This world is what it is. I'm only going to live once, and only do things that would make me happy, that would give me the pleasure, that would, satisfy my body, my skins, my bones, and make me feel good. That's it. That was the main criteria. Now the question is, hey, what does God want me to do in this thing, in this situation, right? Because that would be my success in this world as well as my success in the hereafter. Yeah. Great. So the first thing is when you're grateful for that and you're thankful, you're really, really thankful for that God actually, accepted that from you and, or gave you that opportunity to accept the faith, right? He facilitated it for you, right? Because many people's, their hearts are locked. They see the truth and they don't realize it, right? So you having that ability to recognize it is a great blessing from God. So once you do that, I think, and the second thing becomes, obviously, in anything that you are facing, even if it's harder for you to do what God wants you to do, just because, you have a different background, different culture, different habits, right? So you always ask God, Allah, to help you, just like He helped you accept the religion, right? Because many people, even if they understand that religion is true, Islam is true, they don't have the courage to accept it because, they're concerned about their family members, their friends, their social circle, what have you. Right? So just like He gave you that courage, He will give you the courage to do the action that are pleasing to Him. So after those two things, the third thing that becomes is to keep this in your focus. right?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is when you go out from here, there are people trying to sell you products and services, right? People trying to attract you to buy some things or buy some services or vacations or gadgets or go to a school or what have you. And not everything is bad, obviously, but the point is that people have agenda, they have products, they have services, they have things that they want to offer you, right? Most people, all right, unlike Salim, your friend, would not come and say, hey, Jason, what do you think about afterlife? What do you think about God? Most people would not do that, as you already know.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's something that you have to be consciously aware of and provide yourself the opportunity to be reminded about those things, right? And that comes from a variety of things, right? One is such as you taking the time to come here to discuss about, hey, what's next? How do I learn more about God? How do I practice, right?
Yeah.
The second thing is, keeping good company, right? So if you're hanging out with Salim, hopefully he's going to remind you of prayers, or you're going to remind Salim of prayers, right? If you're hanging out with somebody else, then you have to, be reminded yourself or using your phone or what have you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind. The third thing then is basically, having a daily routine, right? So it could be, you coming once a day to masjid or a few times a week in the masjid or even once a week, whatever you can start with, right? It's sort of like if you want to take the example of somebody, trying to change their, health routine, right? Somebody who's like really fat or really not taking care of their health, right? And say, you know what, that's it. I want to have a better life, so I'm going to take care of my body, right? So they have to surround themselves by people who are not eating at McDonald's all the time, right? We're eating healthy. They're reading healthy things. They're listening to things that will remind them of the importance of health and how they can be healthy. You're going to try to put in some changes around your diet and what have you. Similarly, you need to take care of your soul, right? Because body is body, right? We are essentially two components, body and soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
So body would be weak, strong, and then weak again, right?
Yeah.
But soul is what remains and what moves on to the hereafter, right? It's given a new body in the hereafter, but essentially you still have that soul, right? So essentially this is basically the concept, right? So the idea of this conversation is basically to help you, basically for us to mutually discuss a plan for yourself so that we have some sort of plan that works for you, because everybody is going to move at a different pace, right? So you and I can discuss that, hey, I'm going to come to 1 class a week or 2 classes a week. I'm going to do this thing online. We'll be in touch with WhatsApp every day or every other day at the end of the week. So this is some of the things that we're going to discuss moving forward. So I'm going to pause the recording here, and then you can get into all these extra details, later on. And also, some of the things we're going to do is put in some apps on your phone.
Yeah.
So that will help you practice prayers. That will help you remind the time of prayers. Will show you how to read Quran, how to, some channels that you can subscribe to, right? Yeah. YouTube or Instagram, what have you, that would remind you of God. So that's great, man. I'm going to pause the video and then we're going to talk about it.